Wait, they're starting. Oh my god, it's already live. Hello. Okay. So we have Brille versus DNK and DZAT. So I have to change here. Title. Oh my god, what the hell is going on? It's already live. I need a mod, really. Yeah, I will. Let me do the first round like that. Multi-twitch from 0 to hero and bracket. Okay, so we have the match coming up here. JohN, Brille, DZAT, and DNK battling it out for 2 spots into the round 2. And the players who will drop down here or who will lose and not acquire a top 2 placement will go into the loser bracket. As we can see, DZAT doing a good time here on Weird Flex. And he will be certainly very happy about that because the WR here of Weird Flex is a 103.30. So a 0.82 is a really, really good time for him. Okay, so DZAT with the first 10 pointer here. As you can see, DNK and JohN second and third. And then we have, of course, Brille not finishing. So JohN, one of the players who is really, really good. He used to be in Team Expert, but making another mistake here. So this is not looking good for the player who comes from my region. So not looking too good for him. DZAT and DNK are battling it out here for that first place. DZAT, however, 0.35 of a second ahead. So what a banger of a start for him. But DNK will be certainly very happy about that as well. Of course, we play in cup mode. 100 points is the point limit. And we have a point repetition of 10, 6, 4. And then 3 points for the last person. But it wasn't occupied beforehand. And it's not looking good for Brille yet again. Because he finds himself 3 seconds behind. So he won't make any damage. But look at this time from DZAT here. What is he on? What is this guy on? Again on a very, very good time. I think it won't be a 103. But a high 104, a low 104, 104.04 for him. Then DNK in second, Brille actually in third with a 108.84. And then we have JohN, who's not able to finish because respawn is not allowed. I think so, yeah. So next round is starting now. As you can see, DNK again with a good start. But let's focus here on JohN. This could be the first upset here. Because JohN is certainly a very, very good player. And was seated, let's check actually, as one of the first players here in this group. So this could be an interesting match that we have come to. And actually, he was the second seated player. Then DZAT was the first seated player. Respawn is banned just for the reason because you should not make any sort of mistakes or only minor mistakes. But so far it's looking good for JohN in this round, going into round number 3 here on Weird Flex. But we have DZAT with a clean sweep here, finding himself again ahead. But JohN comes a little bit closer though. A little bit of a wonky approach there for him though, so he's taking it a little bit more conservatively. But JohN with more speed, so this could all be in the ending. JohN comes a little bit closer here in this ending, but it won't be enough unless DZAT will fail the ending. But he won't do so, so DZAT again with a sub 104 time. Really, really good time for him. DNK finishing as well in third. But this will be super interesting now, because DNK still is in the lead, but JohN comes closer. Only 6 points between them. And DZAT with such a good performance so far. 3 out of 3 victories for the Jeanette player so far. The map order is by random, and we have 5 rounds on each track. So this is also a thing that you should consider. I thought that the rounds will start at 3. That's why I took my time. But of course, everything can happen. And yeah, JohN with a very, very good start. Look at that. He is pushing it 0.2 of a second ahead of his former set time here. Only DZAT is behind him, but he's looking to lose his first round. As you can see here, didn't get the best speed outcome, so JohN will just zoop away. This turn is very decisive. JohN with a very, very good apex there into that turn, so he will extend his lead. Only the last part is remaining here. We have 15 seconds left to go. A very, very speedy drift. Zat comes a tiny tad closer, 0.3 of a second, tearing those players apart. But it's looking that JohN will win his first round and DNK will get tied with that situation if DNK will grant himself the second place. Oh, so great performance here for him. And DNK will actually fail the ending here, and as well as Brille. So Brille in third, but DNK will get overtaking now. So JohN off to 20 points now. DNK will get overtaking here. And Zat is really looking strong going into round number 5. I should take the match in there in my title, but all good. We're going into the next round now. DNK with a good start, but JohN and Zat accumulate a little bit more speed in this stretch. But DNK's come back strong with a good turn there, but oh, a little bit of a wonky slide here for him. But look at this, he has more speed than Zat, so he comes closer, but JohN again in first. So what is this guy on? He really wants to push it here, as you can see. Zat with the lead, so this could be the first close round here of this match on weird flex by Thompson. 0.3 of a second between both of the players. Zat with a good turn, but as well as JohN. So it will be all in this ending section. JohN is overtaking him, but JohN risking it too much, and he actually came into touch and is not able to make that jump, so he has to go for that alternative line. And DNK also with a mistake, so it's Brille in second place. The Brazilian player who does not really play as good as I have thought he would be is in second place right now, and Zat will just clock in another 104.23. So great performance by Zat. Brille in second. Then we have JohN behind with a 110, and DNK is not able to finish. And this is bad news for DNK, as we can see him dropping down. Okay. So next map coming up now, it's Siphon Blur, a map that Carl Jr. has occupied the W, or if I remember correctly, let me check actually in my cheat. No, actually, yeah, this is Carl Jr., but I'm not sure because it's the Dedimania. So this track has a length of 1 minute and 2 seconds approximately. We have seen this map in the seeding already. Players can go for that inside approach, which Zat did perfectly fine, but of course it's super risky to do. JohN did the safe way, and of course after one warm-up we are going to start with a live round. We have a very speedy section at the first third of the map, but then we're going into a drift that you have to hold for a long time, and you can go between that triangle as well, which is the viable line, of course. So a very difficult map, I would say, as well as this turn. So 3 triangles in one map. This is the so-called identity. But then the ending gets a little bit easier on this track. Also, this part is not too hard. Just stay tight and then leave the blue part a little bit earlier in order to get the auto drift. And then only a hairpin is remaining into a rather easy finish if you not came in touch with the barrier or with the block there in the ending. So everyone has failed somehow here, and we will go into the first live round. Everyone with a DNF, as you can see on the left. Let's go with DNK. He really has to push it. He's at 19 points. Zat already halfway through. Of course, if he has to pass this 100 points barrier, he needs to win one more round in order to win this whole thing. Wins the finalist mode. Oh, DNK with a risky line. Had to readjust it and really is not feeling it. Finds himself 0.6 of a second, 0.7 of a second behind the leader here, who is right now who I'm not able to call right now. Zat with a good approach, but as well as JohN. So this will be all in this midsection here. JohN with a very good line. Look at that. So JohN will extend his lead to 0.13 of a second. Looking good for the German player here playing for Team Kennedy. And PBJ, of course. So Zat is pushing it though, and he comes closer. He's lurking at 600ths of a second between Zat and JohN. Who will take it? JohN with a better speed exit in this turn though. So JohN will temporarily extend his lead here. But now the ending is remaining. This will be super close, but Zat almost came in touch, had to readjust this line, and it will be JohN who will take the first 10-pointer here on Siphon Blur. What a great round there, I have to say. Zat in second. And then we have DNK in third over Brille. Alright. So 52 points for Zat. JohN comes closer towards him. Then we have Dank with 23 points. So this is not looking good for the Belgian player here. Who I've already met in real life, of course. So he's a known guy, for me at least. He's a cool guy. Also practiced the Rated Cup with him. And this is the same picture as in the prior round. Dank just lacking the pace here on this track and goes for a too far inside approach here. As you can see, he loses a lot of time, but good turn here from him. So Dank could maybe capitalize from a mistake, as you can see, but it's the fight again for that first race between JohN and Zat here. JohN with a very good section, yet again accumulates a lot of speed. Look at this, he's just extending his lead in this section. So very great lines there from JohN. But Zat wants to have a saying here in this round, and he comes a little bit closer. JohN with a mistake, and Dank therefore will not overtake him because he has made a mistake on his own. So JohN is lucky, and he's still in that second place, as Zat is getting the freest 10-pointer of his life. He's surviving the ending, and he is granting himself the first place. JohN in second. Then we have Dank overtaking Brille in the end, and Brille goes for the safe finish in last place. So Brille with 20 points. Dank with 27. Then we have JohN with 40 points. And Zat, 62 points for him. So very great match for him. So the save would be a little bit more appropriate there. But of course, it's easier said than done in this kind of situation. As we go into the next round on Siphon Blur. We have 3 more rounds on this track, of course. And Zat again with a good start. Look at this. Minus 0.2 of a second ahead of his former set time here. Looking good for him. Very risky line, and he is not even extending to his PB. But JohN also here in the mix, so same picture again. Dank has made a mistake, finds himself 0.2 of a second behind. But what is this time here from Zat? Will he drop a good time here? That is the question. Or will it be a time over 1:02? What will he do? Looking good so far, accumulates a lot of speed in this stretch. The ending is remaining for the Jeanette player. Quarter of a second in minus for him, so looking very good. But he has made a tiny mistake, as it seems. What it was only the server who was lagging. So 102.46, good time for him. Finding himself 0.7 of a second behind the WR. Then we have Dank making it into the finish. Brille not able to finish here. And is still down to 20 points. Dank 31 for him. Then we have JohN with 46 and Zat just dominating this match. Brille starting late. Unfortunate stuff for him. So who's that even? Does someone know this player, or did he just participate for fun? I don't know. So this time around it's Dank with a good start. But look at the mistake from JohN there. JohN with a mistake. This is not looking good for him. So Dank could grant himself a free 6-pointer here. Goes for the risk and comes a little bit closer towards Zat with a better line here, as you can see. But Zat is just pushing it. You can just see the class difference on tech between Dank and Zat here. So Zat is extending his lead to 0.5 of a second. So what a great performance for him. Great performance, and I think he's actually on a good time here, as you can see. He will drop another 1:02, which I would consider as a good match time. And Zat can take it easy, as he's 1 second ahead of Dank. So another 10-pointer for him, and yes, you can see he has failed the ending a little bit. And the 1:02.55 will serve the purpose just fine. Dank doing PB with a sub 1:04 and grants himself second place. JohN halfway through now with 50 points, but Zat wants to show why he is in first place. And he's at 82 points out of 90. So this is a great performance. 7 first places for him and 2 second places. So what a great performance from the Jeanette player Zat. Really good. But JohN also good. But granting yourself some points against such a good player is really hard to do. So JohN right now off to a good start. Accumulates a lot of speed. Will overtake Zat maybe in this turn. He comes closer though. And he's pushing it. He wants that 10-pointer. He wants to deny it. But gets a little bit of a more wonky approach in this section. So it will be Zat still in first. JohN had to readjust his line in this section, and therefore it's Zat still in first. Better approach for him, but gets a little bit of airtime. So JohN will come closer. It will be all in this ending. JohN with more speed, and who will take that 10-pointer? Now it is JohN in first. As you can see here, JohN with more speed, and it will be all in this ending section. 2 more drifts remaining. Zat is going for the attack. Who will take it? It is Zat with a more inside line, but he has a little bit more speed, but it won't be enough. So JohN in first with a 102.59. But what a great round from both of the players. JohN will move up to 60 points and Zat up to 88 points. So great round from both of the players. And yeah, DNK will lose it a little bit. Hey. And the players have recognized me. So it is Zat in first with 88 points. Then we have JohN behind DNK in third. And Brille in fourth place. But Brille unfortunately not playing. He is playing. But I don't know. Tobi, der Stream geht bis 21 Uhr. Ich kaste halt das Turnier. Und willkommen, Tobi. Hat gerade angefangen, das Turnier. Okay, so players are warming up here on Cascade. The first map that I have introduced to you guys. It's a Kiesler map featuring Warmy. And the WR is a 106.16 by Carl Jr. At least that's what the Dedimania time is. The full speed start can be pretty hard. But the part which is really hard is the turn afterwards. Because you have to hold your gear in that turn. In order to grant yourself a lot of speed in a little bit of a more speedy section, which is coming up afterwards. And low airtime is really important here. And the ending is not too hard, only maybe this part here, this comes up now, where you have to squeeze your car just in between, but JohN did it perfectly fine. I mean, you lose some time when you clip either this part here or drop down on this thing. But in general, it's not too hard. You won't die completely. Of course, it's hard to align your car perfect, but you can, like, let your car finish. But maybe we can see some mistakes, because if you misalign your car beforehand, it will be super hard to come back and you need to save it. So, we go into the first round here on Cascade. Let's see what the players are pulling onto the tarmac here. As you can see, Zat and JohN, same pictures in the prior round, making it the best. As you can see, Zat with a superior line here over JohN. JohN with a more inside line, and he's actually overtaking his opponent here. Zat, however, comes back strong. Look at this line, beautifully executed by him. A lot of speed for him, for the Jeanette player, and this is looking like that he will move up to 98 points. But he's came into touch with a barrier there, and therefore it is DNK who is overtaking Zat there. So the caster's curse is kicking in yet again. So DNK will be certainly happy about a 10-pointer or maybe even a 6-pointer. But he comes close to JohN, and JohN also with a mistake. So with Zat all of a sudden being in second place, and he will come closer towards DNK. DNK right now has to push it. He needs those 10-pointer if he wants to stay in this match, but he gets the no slide. So it's actually Zat in first place. What a thriller of a round, and actually JohN will overtake Zat here in this ending. Who will take it? Will it be Zat or JohN? JohN with a mistake, and Zat in first place, DNK in second. What was this round? Can you explain it to me? Holy moly, what was this round? Back and forth between all of the three players, and it is eventually Zat winning the round over, yeah, who was in third, and second it was DNK. Okay, so next round is coming up. We see Brille also with a very good start here. As you can see, he was holding his gear, so Brille is pushing it a little bit more, only 0.2 behind. It is JohN who falls a little bit behind here in this section. Not falling behind, he is 2 seconds down. So after Brille got that good start, he eventually finds himself down 1 second behind the leader, who's still Zat. But Zat only needs to finish this round in order to grant himself the finalist status that you activate when you have surpassed this 100-point threshold. But yeah, he will deny some points to the players now, because right now it's only DNK who finds himself 0.5 of a second behind Zat. So Zat can take it conservatively. He's actually extending his lead, but this is looking good for him, for the Frenchman. So only a couple of turns are remaining for him. Of course, the ending, which you can mess up. I was praising the ending beforehand, and I thought that this is an easy task, because myself, I have not failed it once. But Zat, you can see if you touch it there, you don't lose too much. So Zat with a sub 107, which is a good time. DNK with a 107.61, also very good. But I can see that my big forehead is in the way. So I have to move this. I have to move it like here maybe. I think here it's fine. Here is my... Wait a minute. My big forehead is in the way. So let's put it like that. That's good. Alright, so Zat now off to a good start. And remember, guys, he's in finalist. Zat can move into the next round now, and it's looking really good for him. JohN as well with a good start, as well as DNK, but Zat gets a more inside line and therefore has not as much speed as the other players, but he will still remain in first place, 1/10 of a second between all of the players here. What a great fight here. So DNK is really putting some effort into that, but misaligning the line here, and it's actually JohN right now moving up to first place. So JohN didn't finish the other round either, and right now it's not looking good for him, as he came almost in touch with the barrier. So not looking good for JohN in this section. You can see Zat is just improving his time here, or can maybe even win this one. Yes, he will do so. So Zat will move on to the next round if he is surviving this ending. So anticlimactic final in this ending section though. So only one jump remaining for Zat, and he will survive it. So GG towards Zat. The first finalist attempt and the first round for him, taking it home. GG's to him. So now it's between JohN and DNK. JohN with 66 points. And then we have DNK with 57 points. Brille with 37 points. I think he will most likely not have a saying here. Even though he didn't do super bad on this track. It's JohN with a mistake though. So it will be between DNK and Brille. And this mistake is really, really cruel for him. But great performance here, really, I have to say, from Zat. Really, really great performance. And it is DNK, however, right now in first place. Brille in second. So he can grant himself 6 points. But maybe he will actually win that round. Didn't get a smooth transition here. But it's DNK making a small mistake. So Brille will come closer. But it is not enough for him to overtake him. So this could be a little bit more spicy if Brille will deny some points towards JohN. But it's not the case, because JohN comes closer. And JohN now up to second place. Brille will most likely grant himself only 4 points. Oh, but a bad line here from Brille. So let's see what JohN is doing in the end. DNK in first. Those are really, really important points for DNK, for the Belgian player. He is surviving the ending and finishes with a 108.70. So great performance for him. And he will grant himself a 10-pointer. I'm not gonna say anything. But yeah, 67 points for DNK, and then we have 72 points for JohN. So can be a little bit closer here, but still a good performance by both of the players. JohN had for me the better times concerning the maps. And you can see the lines here from JohN looking very, very smooth. But also DNK with a very good start here. So only 0.15 of a second is tearing those players apart. So not a lot. So JohN is 0.2 behind. DNK is 0.2 behind JohN here. But JohN actually extends his lead here in this stretch. As you can see, as DNK didn't really get too much speed in this section. So JohN has a comfortable lead of 0.4 of a second, as you can see in the bottom corner here. So JohN is looking good to take home a 10-pointer. Looking good for him. Different approaches from both of the players here in this section. JohN can take it easy. Oh, a little bit of a more sloppy approach for him. So DNK will come a little bit closer. But DNK has come into touch with a barrier. So JohN will take that first place if he's surviving that ending, of course. And he will set a good time here of 106.94. Good time for JohN. DNK in second place. And JohN will move up to 82 points. So closer and closer for him. Granting himself the finalist status. Alright, going into the next map. It is Crumpots, not Crumnopots. I would call it Crumnopots, but it would be too much Omnipots in it, I think. We have, I think, the sickest author time here on this track by Omnipots, of course. And it's the only Trackmania that is not occupied by Cole Jr. It's by Omnipots, by Psychos, I mean. Omnipots, but also has a good PB here with a 105.22. And the Trackmania by Psychos is a 105.08. So good times. A lot of speed checks that have been that the players have to pass here. And it's a very open map in the first half. And then you have this transition here where you have to steer to the right just before it, and then steer to the left when your back tire, when your right back wheel touches the part there. So this was the conclusion that I came to. Then you get the nose down. And some tricky drifts can be done here. Also, this blind jump is not too easy to get, as you can see. And then we have this tight section, the reuse of the start block as DNK is surpassing it. And this ending section where you can where you can jump against the inflatables. But as you have as Brille not as much speed, you have safe finishes there with a full speed block, as you can see, which is not really disturbing too much. And then, of course, a different finish here to the right, which is certainly this one here, but not faster, because this finish line is just earlier. As we go into the first round here, we have JohN versus DNK, 82 versus 73 points. The full speed start that has to be cleared by the players. And then into a middle pole drift, which JohN does really good, grants himself a lot of speed. And then this open section here, which is really important that you get it, yeah, maybe even inside this pole, or outside pole, if you tell it like that. So JohN off to a good start. And now the speed check is coming up. JohN passes it, but only barely. So look pretty close for him as DNK finds himself 0.3 of a second behind JohN here in this section. Now the no jump is coming in, or the jump here. JohN does it very, very good, but as well as DNK. So DNK comes a bit closer than the freewheel is coming up. We really want to get a lot of speed, as much speed as possible. So that's why you go outside speed beforehand, that you have a good angle for the turn. So JohN in first place, but a little bit of a more wonky approach for him. But DNK didn't do it that good as well. So JohN's still in the lead, and he can move up to 92 points with that. Only the end jump is remaining for him, and JohN will grant himself a 10-pointer. DNK with a 106.57 in second place. And then we have Brille not finishing with a DNF. So he maybe gave himself up a bit. So 105.99, what I say is a really good match time. And now it is DNK's task to deny JohN the victory here, because if JohN will grant himself a 10-pointer, he will be finalist in the next round. So DNK off to a good start here, however, so he wants to have a saying. DNK goes for that outside approach, and then actually JohN with a mistake. So DNK can move up to 89 points, but of course, if he wins one more round after that, he will grant himself the slap in the face with 99 points. But right now, it's looking good for DNK that he can grant himself a 10-pointer. Brille is 1 second behind, as you can see here. And then we have JohN, who has DNF'd. This is, I think, not the smartest move from the German player here, what I can say. Because if you DNF, he could have gotten 4 points. And he can grant himself the final status if he is granting himself 6 points in the next round. So risky move there from JohN. So he needs to win next round. This puts some extra pressure on you, but maybe he's in need of that pressure. So DNK is winning this round here with a 107.18. Brille in second with a 111.48. And yeah, we see DNK coming closer towards JohN. So next round is starting. JohN is playing this time, as you can see. And yeah, JohN with a good start over DNK, but DNK with a lot of speed, as you can see. So he will move a little bit closer. JohN again with a very risky inside approach, but it works out for him. But as you can see, he didn't really gain too much with that. So maybe outside, as DNK did, is better than that. But DNK still in the mix, so he finds himself 700ths of a second behind JohN here. So this could be a close fight going to the second half of the track. JohN with a good no jump here, as well as DNK. But now the crucial freewheel part is coming up. JohN does it really good, so does DNK. So DNK 0.2 of a second behind JohN, and he could deny JohN the final status here going to the last part of the track. Only 12 seconds remaining for both of the players. JohN with a very, very good section, and this looks like JohN will activate the final status for him in the next round. Only a couple of turns. DNK actually making the additional mistake. So not looking too good for the Belgian player. So JohN will... Wait, JohN with a mistake, and it is DNK also with a mistake. Who's gonna take it? Oh my god, it's actually JohN. Brille winning. Brille denying, and that's why it was so important. I was speaking about that. That Brille, that JohN had to finish it, because Brille denied both JohN and DNK here. And that's why JohN is now at 98 points, and this will put so much pressure on him. Oh my god, you hate to see that. So now JohN needs to finish one more round. DNK needs first place in order to grant himself the final status, and we could see a potential double final situation because Brille did everything right. Brille denied both JohN and DNK the points because both have failed the ending. So what a thrilling match here. This could be the first surprise that JohN could drop down here into the loser bracket. DNK with a good turn comes closer towards JohN here, the Kennedy player, but now the no jump is remaining. JohN does it really good, so does DNK, but DNK came in touch here, and it is JohN who could grant himself the final status, but he makes the mistake, and it's DNK in first place. It is DNK in first place, and JohN has to finish here, so DNK will be put into finalist mode here. Oh my god, this is the double finalist situation for both of the players if JohN is able to finish. Boy, oh boy, I picked the right match. I picked the total right match here, as you can see. So JohN is able to finish. DNK will grant himself the first place. Then we have Brille in second and JohN in third. And double final situation in the first round here. DNK versus JohN. It's do or die for both of the players. Oh my god, what is happening? What is happening here? Fifth round on Crompots, and this could be the last round on this match. Who will it be? Will it be DNK or JohN, or will it be Brille who will deny both the players the victory? But it's actually Brille dropping behind, so we will have a winner in this round. DNK with a good start, as well as JohN, and we can see different trajectories here again, but it is JohN making a mistake, had to readjust his line, and DNK will actually extend his lead here towards JohN, but it's super close. JohN has a little bit more pace, but JohN goes super far outside there, so it is actually DNK who is extending his lead to 0.2 of a second. So DNK now off to a very, very good situation here. JohN has to push it in this stretch, comes a little bit closer, 1800ths of a second between both of the players. JohN not with the best line, and DNK will have more speed in this section, as it seems 0.2 between both DNK and JohN. So the ending is remaining for both JohN and DNK. JohN comes closer though, and it is actually JohN who will grant himself more speed than DNK, but JohN not with the best approach, so it will be all in the ending, but JohN with a mistake, and it will be DNK who will move on to the next round. This is the first upset here. This is an upset. JohN gets eliminated by DNK because it was Brille who denied JohN the victory. Oh my god. Holy shit, boys. What a round. Oh my god, Brille the MVP, and it was actually JohN who DNF'd the round.